You know, even with all Apple has doubled down on leaks lately, not everything seems to work. Because yes, we have a ton of new reports for the iPhone 13 series on leaks that weren't so conclusive before. Now, speaking of non-conclusive leaks, we have more details on the Google Pixel 6 series, even if the phone is pretty much official. And now we have new renders and other details on the Galaxy S21 FE that should be coming soon. I'm Jaime Rivera, and don't worry, I did see your ideas on a possible name for this show, and we are not calling it Deals Now Daily. I'd rather call it one of Diego's puns. This is Pocketnow Daily. Let's start with some leaks of Microsoft upcoming foldables, if you can technically call them that. If you remember last year, one of the main issues with the original Surface Duo was that outdated spec sheet, but it looks like things are about to change for the better, sort of. We have a new benchmark that was leaked by Slash Leaks that shows off the alleged specifications of the Surface Duo 2. According to these, it'll be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, not the Plus, as well as 8 gigs of RAM. Now, the benchmark didn't provide any details on storage, but it did mention it was running Android 11, though we have heard that Microsoft is expected to update it to Android 12 once that becomes available. Last month, we also got a video leaked on YouTube showing the updates to the design that include a triple camera array and the frosted glass back. Other than that, it looks identical to the previous model, which means it'll most likely be fragile too. We don't really have a date as for the release, but I'm sure that Panos will be posting a hands-on of it as we get closer to the end of the year, because he's got to show off his new position somehow. Now let's shift gears onto Samsung and their next release, which isn't really a flagship. As yes, we know that the fan edition of the Galaxy S20 was a success, and multiple reports mention that Sammy wants to follow up on that, even if they're struggling with the whole chip shortage. Well, we just got a ton of new leaks as of late, starting with last week when we got some HD renders from Evan Blast that showed the phone from every possible angle, showing the new design, which resembles the regular Galaxy S21, and then a couple of days ago, it showed up in the Google Play console, confirming the specifications, which include a 6.4-inch display, the Snapdragon 888, 6GB of RAM, a 4500 mAh battery. But now we've got a leak from the best possible source, Samsung. They're getting really good at this. I mean, in Sammy's typical fashion, their French website posted a page that advertises YouTube Premium offers, and in the list of devices that support the offer, we can see the Galaxy S21 FE next to the S21 Ultra, which means that the S21 FE will come with a 4-month subscription of YouTube Premium, and it will be happening after all, but the rumors point to it being limited to certain regions. Now, according to the leaks, this phone could be launching in October, but with European websites already leaking it, we could be getting it sooner than expected, or at least in certain regions. We'll see. Now let's move on to the undisputed king of leaks, Google and the Pixel 6 series. Even if the company pretty much announced the phone a few weeks ago, there's still some details that weren't mentioned, and those have been getting leaked slowly, with today shedding some light on the 2 different reports, starting with the 5G capabilities. We have new information from Reuters where they're claiming that Samsung will also be providing 5G mmWave modems for the Pixel 6, and I mean, it makes sense considering that they'll be manufacturing the Tensor chip as well. And as for that second report, Google's SVP posted a screenshot of what seems to be the Pixel 6's display running Android 12, of course. Now, what's interesting here is that there is a fingerprint reader icon in the middle of the screen. We know Google has been reluctant to add an in-display fingerprint scanner as they went for facial recognition with the Pixel 4 and then moved to a back fingerprint reader with the Pixel 5 and 4a series. But now it looks like if they're caving in, and since we're on the topic of 5G, yes, the screenshot also shows that they're connected to 5G on Verizon. So yes, all we need now is a leaked review. Come on. But finally, for the hottest news today, let's talk about Apple and the iPhone 13, because You know how hectic things get as we start getting closer to September. Today we have 3 different reports on different things we can expect in the next few weeks. Let's kick things off with the name. Over the past year, there's been some speculation that it might be called the iPhone 12s over the fact that it isn't really a new design and we're just getting some improvements on the features we already had in the last generation. Now we have an image of a sticker tab that's used to seal Apple products in their boxes that says iPhone 13, along with the company's typical Design by Apple label. At the moment, we don't know if the image is 100% legit, but let's take that with a grain of salt, as it looks like iPhone 13 it is. And before we move on to the release date, let's talk about some features. According to a new report from John Prosser, Apple is testing some new Face ID technology from the iPhone 13 that could allow users to access their phones while using a mask, and even if you have foggy glasses. Apparently, they're testing it by using this special case and putting it on top of the iPhone 12. And then once the case is on, it bypasses the 12's Face ID array and it uses the external hardware, which is allegedly the same one we're getting on the 13 series. And I know it's kind of technical, but the overall goal is to let you use Face ID even in the most complicated scenarios. Finally, let's talk release dates. As Chinese e-tailer IT Home has the iPhone 13 pre-order set for September 17. And considering Apple usually has their events on Tuesdays, it would mean that Apple would announce it on the 7th or probably the 14th. On a report, Prosser claims that invites would go out on the 7th, with the event happening on the 14th, and then pre-orders would go live on the 17th for all iPhone models, unlike last year, to be available in stores on the 24th. And he also mentions that the new AirPods are coming at this event. So at this point, you don't need me to remind you what we're getting, but let's just shift to the question. With the launch of Galaxy's foldables today, I mean, did you get any of those, or are you waiting for the iPhone? Because in my case, I mean, that iPhone 13 has to be amazing, because for the price of the Z Fold 3, Z Fold 3, no, the Z Flip 3, but then for the functionality of the Fold 3, I think it's really hard. I mean, it's really hard for Apple to do iteration this year, but that's just me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social medias. Our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me complain about names. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.